Hello everybody and welcome back for another episode of My Chaotic Budget. My name is Sandra and on my channel we do all things budget related when it comes to mine and my husband's paychecks. And in this episode we are going to do a budget closeout for January 29th. So today's date is February 16th, I believe. And I am going to share with you how our budget is, or how we close out the budget. So as you all know, when I did a weekly check-in, I'll put the link in the cards right up here. When I did that weekly check-in, I was a little bit scared because I was afraid we were really off budget. But the good thing is that I was able to manage it because we have, of course, cash on hand. So we had money to pull from, and we also got extra income that we were not expecting. So that really did help. And so we're going to go through the numbers right now. So this, of course, was our budget tracker. And I did put here my original thoughts. 2-week spread is going to be tough. Probably should have held back on the high yield savings account. And of course, I did make that decision later on. So this, of course, was for the January 29th paycheck. And I'm going to show you my check difference, some cash that we added, extra income that came in, and the rollover that we were using. So originally we had budgeted that we were going to be able to work with only $1,892. However, my husband's check did have a difference, a positive difference, which is really good, of $9.41. We added $200 of cash into both accounts, so $100 for the GDG and $100 for spending. And then extra income came in at $135.35. And then the rollover that we had was from the January 24th paycheck, which was $364.91. So all in all, we were able to get $2,601.67 that we were able to use. So that's a huge difference from the original budgeted amount. So thank goodness for it. Thank goodness for all these extra things that came into play. So let's see how we used it. So the first thing that we look at is, of course, the bills that I had planned for. So you're going to see a B for budgeted and A for actual. So we did have my daughter's program that helps watch her after school because, of course, we work and we needed help because my father-in-law, as I have mentioned, is not fully well yet. And because of that, my husband has to leave work early to get them. But even then, it's not early enough. So we have to have this program that takes care of our daughter after school. I thought it was going to be $160, but it was only $93. So that was on the plus side. Car insurance, I did budget $167. I was pretty close. It came out to $166.81. I always do like to budget above what I expect it to be. However, if you can see here on Macy's, I thought it was going to be $195, but it was actually more. It was $215.96. So, oof, that came in as a surprise. Spectrum, $85 is what I thought, but it came out to $81.94, which was good. Old Navy, I thought it was going to be $203. It came out more, which was $207.91. And I do believe that this has to deal with the new interest rates that kicked in. As you all know, inflation, it has affected the way that we have our credit cards, which is another reason why I want to pay off my debt. The interest rate is crazy and it just seems to keep going up and up and up and up. I know that on some of my credit cards, they didn't start off with this high percentage rate. And now they are like skyrocketing above 27, 30%. And that's ridiculous. So yeah, I think that has something to do with it. Target, I was not planning on paying anything to it, but I did use an extra debt payment of $30 plus the rollover, some of the rollover money that we had here to help pay off a little bit of Target. And that was before I created my plan, my updated debt payment plan. So now with my updated plan, I'm only focusing on paying down Amazon. So if I had thought of that a little bit earlier, this would have gone to Amazon instead, but I digress. And then my daughter's violin lessons, I forgot to budget it, but it was less than I expected, so that was really good. It was $105. So I forgot to budget it into this this paycheck, but it's okay because we actually had some wiggle room to budget with, so yay. The stars were looking out for me. So I had originally budgeted $810 to go towards bills. I'm not including my account buffer because once the bills go through, I move the account buffer into spending. So you'll see that moved over. But all in all, we did end up spending $1,010.62 in bills. Okay, so over here then, actually, let's go ahead and do this. And I know it's kind of like hard to see this calculator, so I'm thinking about getting a different calculator. But I have the amount here, 2601.67, and we're going to take away the bill amount of 1010.62, and so that means we have 1591.05 cents left. So now let's get into my GDGS, which is my groceries, dining out, gas, and spending. This is, of course, where I did add the $200 of cash. You won't see that in the budgeted amounts, but it's just overall in the money. I don't know how else to put it because, yeah, I'm just going to kind of leave it where it is because the numbers, they add up and everything equals out, but it just doesn't look like it does because of the fact that I had to add cash. But I digress. Let's get back into this. So groceries, I had originally budgeted $364, and I did change the budgeted amount because of the fact that we had a large amount of rollover, larger than what I had expected. So I added more to groceries, and we only ended up spending $280.23 in groceries. However, if we take a look at dining out, I only budgeted $150, which is why I had to add $200 because look at where we went with dining out. Came out more, which was $391.31. We did have a family day out. We went to the movies. We ate at Olive Garden. We continued to kind of eat out, and we balanced. I feel like I balanced it out based on the fact that we didn't spend as much money in groceries. And we didn't go outside of our budget so much because we did have extra cash that we could add into it. So I don't feel as bad as I did at the first start of it. Gas, I budgeted $100, but I went ahead and went over just a little bit because I needed to fill up my tank. So I had spent $105.02 instead. Spending, I budgeted $300.41, and this is including the account buffer, but we only spent $270.58. And you'll see in a little bit what I mean by how the numbers don't look like they add up, but they do. So let's take this number now and take it away from this. So we are going to subtract $1,047.14, and that's going to come out to $543.91 that we have left. Now, mind you, I did use the accounts separately or differently, and that's why they didn't balance out. Okay, so savings and sinking funds, we put in $100 to our emergency cash. Our yearly fee, we put $25. Our high yield savings account, I put $147, and I shouldn't have put that $147. Because I did that, I ended up using the extra cash that we had. I didn't want to use the extra cash, but because I planned it poorly, I ended up using the extra cash. We didn't have to use any credit, so that's a plus. But of course, like I said, I just planned it out poorly in a sense that I didn't plan ahead. Eva, of course, we gave her $200 for helping us out with our kids and our home. And so miscellaneous, I also gave myself $15 to have in my wallet. And that came out to $487. So if we come over here to the amount that we have and we take away the $487, that comes out to $56.91. And here is what I mean by it adds up. So in our rollover to the 212 check, in groceries, dining out, and gas, we had $2.64. which does not equal what we have here, obviously. And spending, we had $54.27, which does not equal what we have here. So the accounts didn't quite balance out because I did not expect this $200 that I would need to be adding, but I did add it. And then, of course, I used one of the accounts outside of what the other account was supposed to be used. Hence, they didn't equal what they need to, but I still ended up with the right number. Yeah, budgeting can be very confusing, but I think the more that I'm doing this, the easier it's getting and the less confusing it will be in the future. I feel better than what I did at midweek check-in or mid-paycheck check-in. So I feel good. I feel like we're making progress, and I look forward to the next 2 weeks. So that's what I'll be sharing with you all. The next paycheck, we will be doing a plan with me for the next paycheck that we have. We will do a weekly check-in for where we're at so far for my husband's paycheck on the 12th, because he already got paid. So we need to check and see how things are coming along here. But other than that, yeah. So we're doing good. I think that was a pretty good closeout. Regardless of being scared about spending more than we thought we had, but we ended up getting more. So, yay! Okay, if that wasn't too confusing for you, give this video a thumbs up, please. And I look forward to seeing you all in the next video. All right, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye!